Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about the battery life on the new iOS 26.2. So if you have updated to iOS 26.2 and you think you're not getting really good battery life, then in this video I will show you guys a few simple tips and tricks that will help you improve the battery life of your iPhone running the new iOS 26.2. Now before we get into all that, I just want to ask you guys for a favor. Most of you guys that watch my videos are currently not subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the videos and you find them helpful, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel a lot. Now, first of all, the first thing I suggest you do is if you have been on any of the betas of iOS 26.2, make sure that you have updated your device to the latest release. Like you will see right here when you go to the update page, you can see in this case I have a download ready here for an update, and this is iOS 26.2 RC2. Basically they have released another release after that with another different build number, so make sure you have the latest update on your device. Even if you have updated the RC2, then you should have another update ready for you, so make sure you have updated. Next up, we're talking about reminders, so let's go to create a new reminder right here. So as you know, with iOS 26.2 we have now a new feature here to add alarms to reminders. And you will see it right here. You enable the urgent button and it shows you the ability to have an alarm for your reminder. But if you don't really need it, don't add an alarm. Of course, adding an alarm will wake up the screen of your device, will give a haptic feedbacks, and all that will have basically an impact to the battery life of your device. So if you don't really need to have the alarm on a reminder, make sure you don't just add alarms to reminders, even though it's a pretty cool new feature. Next up, we're talking about the camera. So this is a simple trick, but it's actually super useful. So if you go to the camera settings and you scroll down here, you will have here lock screen swipe to open camera. How many times you open the camera by accident? Probably a few times a day. So on the lock screen you will have a button to invoke the camera, but you will still have the slide from the right to the left to invoke the camera, which will consume a ton of battery. So make sure you switch this off. That way, of course, you don't invoke the camera by accident and you will save a ton of battery. Next up, move on to sounds and haptics, and right here you will have a really important setting, the haptics of your device. These are basically the haptics that you get for your ringtone and for your alerts, meaning your notifications. If you get a ton of notifications during the day, they will of course have haptic feedback, which uses the haptic engine of your device that does consume a ton of battery. So right here you can see I choose to never play haptics. I just don't like haptics on the notifications and the ringer. But what you can do here, which is basically the best for the both worlds, is to choose like play in silent mode. So when you're on silent mode, it will give you haptics, but when you're on the ringer mode, it doesn't give you haptics. That way, of course, you don't miss any of your calls or notifications, but also you're saving a ton of battery. So with iOS 26, we have a pretty cool feature for the lock screen. It is called Spatial Scene, and you can even test it right here from the Photos app. So basically it creates that 3D effect for your wallpaper, but you know that will consume battery. So what I suggest you do is try to use less of the wallpapers with the spatial effect on your lock screen. It does look cool, but again, everything that has to move all the time, that has motion, will consume battery. So I suggest you go ahead and turn the spatial scene off for your lock screen wallpaper. Next up, we're moving under the battery settings. And right here we will have the new power mode, which Apple has basically added to iOS 26, adaptive power, which is actually really useful because it will adjust the battery of your iPhone, the usage of your iPhone, actually to extend the battery life of your iPhone. It is super useful. And what you get here is also a button to enable the adaptive power notifications, meaning that your iPhone will let you know every time it is using adaptive power. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the best battery features that Apple has added lately, so go ahead and use it on your device. It is actually really helpful. Another thing I suggest you do is update your apps. Now, apps will have updates all the time, especially when a new big iOS release is out. They will push updates. Most of the popular apps, as you can see right here, will have new updates. That way you know that you have the best and the newest version of that app, which is more compatible with the new iOS update. So make sure you always have your apps up to date. Now, if you don't want to bother with going to the App Store and checking for updates, you can always go to the app section right here, go to the App Store and make sure that you have app updates enabled under automatic updates, meaning that your apps will automatically be updated whenever a new update is out. Now, another thing you should do is check for apps that are draining your battery. And you can do that by going to the battery settings right here. And it's actually pretty easy to spot the apps that are using a lot of battery. You go here and you will have the apps that are using the most battery on your iPhone. Now, of course, apps that you use a lot will show right there. But if you have apps that you know you're not using like a ton during the day, but they're still at the top of the list, it means that that app is actually draining and using more battery than it should. In my opinion, you should remove that app and just find a replacement for the app on the App Store. Next up is Apple Intelligence. Now, Apple Intelligence is pretty good, not the best, but it is good, but it does consume a ton of battery because all the time it will be active trying to give you like summaries and replies and all that. So I actually have it enabled. I keep it disabled sometimes, but I don't really use it. I just cannot remember the last time that I have actually used Apple Intelligence for anything on my device. And most likely this will be the case for most users. They have Apple Intelligence, but they're not actually using it. So what I would suggest you do is go ahead and turn off Apple Intelligence completely. Of course, if you don't use it, you will save a ton of battery. Next up are widgets on the home screen and lock screen as well. Now, this is the same for both of them. In both cases, they will consume battery, especially if you have like widgets that need to be updated all the time, like the stocks widget right here or any news widget. They will be active, of course, because they're updating all the time the information that they're displaying. Those widgets will consume battery. Of course, you might need some of them, like a weather widget or a news widget, but if you don't really need them, make sure you have them removed from your device. Just keep the ones that are necessary for you. Now, another thing you can do, of course, is use low power mode. It does work and it will actually like improve the battery, not improve the battery, but extend the battery life a lot. So just go ahead and turn on low power mode. You can go right here to power mode or do it from the control center. Whenever your iPhone's battery is low, you can just go ahead and enable it. Of course, it will slow down your iPhone and it won't perform as it should, but it will extend the battery quite a lot. And last but not least is Siri. So head on under the accessibility settings. And then right here under Siri, go ahead and turn off actually always listen for, the word. Now, what this does is that it will keep your iPhone active all the time, listening for that word. Whether you have your iPhone in your pocket or facing down on a table, it will always stay active listening for that word, meaning that it will drain a ton of battery. So go ahead and turn that off as well. So that is it for this video, guys. These are a few tips and tricks that will help you improve the battery life on your iPhone running the new iOS 26.2. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Smash that like button if you did and subscribe for more. I'll see you on the next one.